Good morning, everybody. Hello, Ashley. Yeah, I had my members live chat last night, which Ashley was at, of course. But sometimes I just like to do this. I get to chat with all of you guys, and I realized I hadn't done one since since I hit like the 5,000 subscribers. So I need to put some makeup on. I need to film a couple videos today, and then my dad's actually coming to help me get my Christmas present because, hey, Sam, he got me a new bed frame, and he's going to come and help me. He's going to come and help like deliver it, and also come see me, because he had to work all through Christmas. So I thought I would just hop on here. Hey, Sahuna. Yes, I know. And also to have something in the morning or earlier in the day, because I know I have lovely people in all the different time zones. So it's hard. But again, I don't know if you've been on a get ready with me before. I am not a fancy makeup person. I'm literally I already put on my base coat and everything because that's hard to do away from my mirror in my bathroom. So I'm just going to be basically doing my eyes and stuff. So, oh yeah, Ashley, I mean, that's why I'm in this community, is to hang out with you guys. Hi, Susan. So I'll show you what I use, though. I really like purples and pinks on my eyes. So I asked my sister for some new palettes for Christmas. And this one I absolutely love. I've been wearing it a lot. It's CoverGirl Truncated Roses. But I'm definitely not a fancy person. Hello, wee lass of a book. Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. I don't know how it is for everybody. I've already been to the gym, and I have a pot roast cooking for my dad when he comes, which makes me feel like a homemaker because I don't really get to cook for people. Now that I used to have a roommate and I would do the cooking, but now I can't. Hi, Bex. Yeah, this is a bit earlier in the day for you, right? I know we kept you up kind of late last night. Rossio, is that how you say that? From Chile, hello. So I'm going to do my eyes. And I thought I'd let you guys maybe pick a topic that I speak about, since this was just kind of random. Like, I can talk about the recent books I'm reading, or we can do, or I can rant about something, talk about a book I didn't like. I don't know, whatever you guys want. But once my makeup's done, then we can do recommendations or whatever. But while I'm doing my eyes, it needs to be something that I don't have to pay too much attention to what I'm saying. From India. See, that's the thing too. When I do this in the mornings, I get to talk to people like around the world instead of just, because like when I do it at the evenings, I feel like it's just the United States who are awake. Paris, hello. I'm glad the comments are working this time too, because when I did live that one time, I literally couldn't see anyone's comments. Start a second Goodreads for romances because I do not need my high school students knowing what I read. Oh, yes. Yep. 2 p.m. in Chile. Yeah, that's a nice time. I guess I didn't know that Chile was only 3 hours different from me. I guess, because it's South America, isn't it? That's cool. I know it was really strange because like when I went to Colombia last year, that it was the same time zone, but it's just, I was so far away from home, but still the same time zone. It's so strange. And there was like exactly 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of nighttime. It was really interesting. So I'm going to put on my eyes right now. Feel free to ask some questions or like I said, pick a topic you want me to go about, and I certainly will do that. Because this will probably be like 45 minutes to an hour. Well, I figured I could do that, and then I need to film before my dad gets here. I'm actually going to be filming my channel members video that they voted on, which is the worst villains that get HEA. So I bet you can guess a few of those if you're a follower of my content. But I just really love that topic. That was a topic someone put into the question that I put out. Do you think Mills and what do you think of Mills and Boone? Susan, is that what's kind of like Harlequin? I feel like Sarah from Bookish Knitter has said that. A Friends to Lovers book. What kind of friends to lovers? So, like childhood friends to lovers, or like they become friends and then like what kind of friends to lovers? I'm all about the specifics because that's a really vague. I have a question to see if I'm petty as fuck or not. Do historical inaccuracies bother you in historical romance? So they don't, but I don't think that you're being petty. I mean, the thing is that historical for me just means that the setting is like pre-World War I. And I don't really care about historical inaccuracies because to me, historical romance is basically a fantasy. So if I really want to read it as accurate, I would go more towards historical fiction because I think, so I don't know, but that's my personal view because I don't care. But I can understand if you do care. Like, I understand. Sorry, I can't talk when I do this. Otherwise, it gets all smeared up. I'm rereading phase, and I just reread the Core Riley books. Yes! I have it right here. I'm about to start this one. Aren't these copies just gorgeous? I love this. I finished Bound by Hatred right before I went to sleep, and so Justin and I are reading those together, rereads for me. And I am loving them even more this time around. I think since I already know what's going to happen, and I usually only reread the Kimura Chronicles. So this time, rereading with Justin, I'm like reading everything. Sorry. And I'm really liking it. Make sure I'm even. The lighting is kind of weird in here, so I'm like, this could end up being... Okay. Hi, Monet. Good way to look at it. I never thought about it from the fantasy perspective. May have to adopt that. Yeah, and we lost my book. Like, I just look at it that way because otherwise it's really depressing. Like, it's obviously there was still romance and there was still people marrying for love. But generally when you were dealing with dukes and earls and then like they weren't. And so I just let it go. Like, really, I like when we see real historical figures. Like, obviously, I really like whenever the Prince Regent shows up in Regency books. I've liked some like spy thrillers. They're not thrillers, but like Celeste Bradley has a like spy series. I'm reading a Scottish historical romances that are, you know, having to do with the Stuarts and stuff, not just Outlander. Outlander obviously does that really well, but there are obviously other authors who write about that in their historical romances too, because it's fun to set a historical romance in a time where there's like danger and like intense stuff, but that doesn't mean for me that it has to be accurate. And part of that is like, I love history, but I don't get nitpicky about it. So it would have to be a really specific thing for me to notice that they messed up. So for me, it's all just a fantasy anyway. Sam, I feel the same way about historicals. I'm not reading for accuracy, just for the smut. Girl! Me too. And let's be honest, like, I mean, yeah, there was still people who had sex whenever, because there always is, but I like when we can be a little more free with those things. Beck said, yeah, I read HR to be entertained and swooped away, so I don't care about historical accuracy, but the historical fiction, I like to learn something. Yes, yes. And for me, I mean, Bex, I know you know this, like, that's what I love about Outlander, specifically the Revolutionary War stuff in the later books when we get to interact with like people who were real. I like how she will mostly tell the history and then fit our characters into it. But when I'm reading that, I'm specifically reading that. Whereas when I'm reading it, because I've had this debate with people before, not with you guys, but in my Outlander videos, where to me they are historical romance because I'm in it for the relationships, but it is fiction. It's historical fiction. It's not historical romance. We're not promised that there'll be a happy ending in those books. So they're a historical fiction. And I've enjoyed historical fiction before. Historical plus romance plus intrigue. Yes. Joanne said, it's funny how Jamie's spanking scandalized me when I read it years ago. And now I'm too jaded by dark romance. I'm like, girl, please, that was nothing. Girl, I totally agree with you, Joanne, because I wasn't scandalized by it because I don't know, I was always able to see what was happening. But when I did my reread too, I was like, no, Jamie, you do that because this needs to stop. And so I just get like, I roll my eyes when people freak out about it now. But yeah, I'm a dark romance reader. Hey, Monet. Yes, we've been talking about Tragic King. Feral King, it was really good too. That duet is really good. All right, now I gotta do the eyeliner. So I really can't talk for like 30 seconds because I don't want to mess this up. Give me a minute. Where's the line? Oh my gosh, what's happening? That's interesting. That like made me dizzy for some reason. Nikunj, sorry, I'm sure I totally said that wrong. I apologize. How is Amo Jones for dark romance? Can you suggest some books? So I've only read one Amo Jones and I didn't finish it, and that was Sicko. But I do want to try one of her other series. I wasn't in the mood for it at that time. It was when I was kind of stepping away from dark romance for a little bit. But I want to try again because Mary absolutely loves her from More to Mary. And so does one of my best friends. She loves Amo Jones. So I want to try more of hers. I had to put down a historical romance because they spoke too modern. Yes, sometimes that can throw me out. Feral King, Tragic King. Yes, I love MMF, Joanne. I mean, that's why I made a video. Book addict. I agree, Joanne. I was just thinking about the other day. I had actual rage quit Outlander after the scene the first time, and now I wouldn't bat an eye. Yes. Yeah, Bianca, I can't talk when I do it. That was just my eyeliner. I'll do the mascara in a second, but have you read anything by T.M. Frazier? I have not, but I have King on my Kindle, Joanne, and I want to get to that one for sure. That's an MC, right? You should tell me. Is that one an MC or is that Mafia? I don't know. We last have a book. In one of the Discords, I recommended The Mistress of Pemberley. So if you want proper historical kink as opposed to just Jamie spanking, check it out. Hold on. I usually have a notepad going and I didn't start it. Mistress of Pemberley. I should have learned the last time we did one of these. I got some great recommendations. So yes. Reykjavik. Disa Maria, is that how you say that? Sorry. Wow. Thank you so much for watching. I just like saying Reykjavik. I probably say it wrong, but I love the name of that place. Recommend for dark paranormal. I mean, so one of the reasons I don't do a lot of paranormal recs is because number one, I haven't read a lot, and number two, I feel like I recommend the same as everybody else. Some throwbacks. I mean, Sherilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter series is great. Christine Feehan has the Carpathian books. I read those as a kid. Obviously, Cressley Cole's series. I mean, there's a reason why it gets recommended over and over and over again, because it's the bomb. Those are the ones that I've read the most. I have not read a ton. Damaged Hero Wreck for contemporary book. I have to think about that. Damaged Hero. I'll have to think about that. Damaged Hero. That's the thing too, is I'm going to write down a lot of these that you want recommendations for, and then I'll post them in my Discord, or I'll do a thing on Instagram, because I'm really bad with like on the spot stuff, which I know that sounds weird to ask in a live, but like I love seeing what you guys want to see from me. And then when I have a minute to think about it and go through the thousands of books that I've read, I can come up with something else. TM Fraser, it's MC adjacent. Okay. And then I see it is, but it isn't, but kinda. All right. All right. Suggested reading order. Cool, cool, cool. I have not read From Blood and Ash, Rossio. I wanted to really read it. I've heard some good stuff, but also from my best friends, I heard that they didn't like it. So I still have it. I've had it out here whenever. I might try to read it in February, because I'm doing the fantasy romance February. If you haven't heard about that yet, I'm really excited. I was asked to be one of the like social media people for that. So I actually get to interview Juliet Cross on my channel on Valentine's Day. So I'm very, very excited to do that, as well as there'll be some live reading sprints for that. So I'm going to try to read a lot of fantasy romance that I haven't read before, as well as reread some of my favorites, because the next Sarah J. Maas is coming out in February. So very excited about that. Okay. Ayushi, sorry again, suggests Mafia romance with arranged marriage. So here's the thing. They all are like that. I haven't read many Mafia that like aren't an arranged marriage. So I have 2 videos that are Mafia recommendations. Obviously, most of Cora Riley's, the first like 3 in the Born in Blood series are. Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley as well. Katie Robert, her first book, The Marriage Contract. That is like a throwback for me. That was one of my first Mafia books I read. Absolutely super good. The King series is T.M. Fraser, is what they're saying. Yes, yep. Yeah, Twisted Emotions is amazing, Joanne. I am excited to reread Twisted Loyalties though, because as I'm reading these with Jessen, there are some that I've reread over and over again. Like I've reread Twisted Emotions and Twisted Pride 5 times. No joke. But I'm excited to reread Fabiano's book, because reading Born in Blood and seeing all of his sisters, like you forget that like about Fabi. And I love Fabi. Okay, Joanne's talking about TM Fraser. I'm going to put on the mascara now. Again, I'm not going to talk while I do this, and I'll be right back. Yes, I think they are. I don't think Fabi's in too much of a hurry to get married, Joanne. Don't mind me just sticking my tongue out to put on mascara. Hi, Shay. Good morning, my friend. Okay. Joanne. So what just came out was the anthology. Hold on, it's right here. So this one just came out, which is the Born in Blood anthology, and it's basically about not about the kids, but it shows like the birth of everyone's kids in this book, because the next series she's doing after she does Adamo's book, The Last Kimura, she's going to start the series about all of the kids for both series. And so they're going to pair up. So this one just came out in December, and the biggest one is about Mateo and Gianna, but there's one about Arya and Luca, Romero and Liliana, Growl and Kara. There's one about all of them, because we didn't really get to see all that stuff. And then, there's still Twisted. I don't remember what the last one's going to be called, but then she's going to start the series that's called like something Lies. I can't remember, but it's going to be about all the kids. And in her Facebook group, she announced what all the couples were. I won't tell you guys because I won't spoil it for you if you haven't, but I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. So it's going to be really good. And so I'm really glad I'm rereading these. Okay. Yes, Shay, I'm going to film after this, and now I'm all ready. I'm all pretty. It's all exciting. It's happening. Okay. All right. Let's hop into this now. I picked up one of the Kavita ones today because these ones have a little bit of sugar in them. And so I grabbed this one, and I'm really liking it. It's just like easier to read, to drink more of it. Okay, let's see what we got in here. I have to turn a little bit. All right, here we go. Have you read J.M. Darhauer's Mafia series? Is J.M. Darhauer the like Twilight retelling one? I totally forgot the name of it. Sempris, I can't remember, but I read 2 of those. Is that J.M. Darhauer? I can't remember. But I have read that duology and I liked it. Oh, thanks, Disa. I try my best. Joanne said The White Monarch is an awesome cartel Romeo and Juliet trilogy, which was great. Okay, The White Monarch. I mean, you guys can just give me Mafia Rex. That's cool too. Menace is good. Siempre, yes. I just couldn't remember the name. Siempre and Siempre Redemption. I have read both of those. I really like them. Disa, I have not read Elizabeth Hoyt yet. She is on my list of authors to read in 2021 because I have a bunch of her books, but I haven't read any yet. Okay. Something I'm going to ask from you guys because, well, I have 40 of you here with me. Someone asked me for nerdy billionaire heroes, and they use the example of Nate from Brooklyn, which I do absolutely love, but she's wanting someone asked me for more Rex, and I know I've read some, but ones were like they were nerds before they were billionaires, or they weren't popular and then they were billionaire. And I think Max Monroe has a billionaire series, but I think they were all really hot the whole time. So I don't know if any of you have thought of that at all. Shay, have you talked about the fairy tale series by Eloisa James? I mean, I talked about it in my video about her, where I went through all of her books, but let's see. I've actually been recollecting those, so I do have some of them. My favorite one is actually The Duke is Mine, which is the Princess and the Pea retelling. Her fate and desire will hinge upon a man and a mattress. I really, really love this one. This is one where she is engaged to someone else, and he actually has probably a mental handicap of some kind, and his father is determined to get him married off. And so our main character, Olivia, she does really like this guy, but he has kind of a childlike mind, and so she honestly feels like she feels like she would be taking advantage to be married to him. Does that make sense? And then she runs into this other duke who he's falling in love with her, and they have to find out how to like get her out of that engagement to the other person. But I really love this one. I also really love the Ugly Duckling one. I know some people get annoyed when a girl has like a glow up, but I really like reading it. And so I really love the ugly Duchess, because I like when someone gets to just kind of shove it in someone's face that you just, you know, you like you didn't give me a chance before. And then this one is the Cinderella retelling too. So yeah, and then there's also the Once Upon a Tower, which is actually a Scottish romance, if you like those. So yeah, I love Eloisa James. She for me has a little more edge than Julia Quinn does. Like she will go just a little bit, she's a little bit sexier, will be a little bit edgier. Like her Duchesses by the Number series is really good, but I just love her. She's one that I've only haven't read a couple of hers, but it's like Julia Quinn where I read them so long ago that I really want to reread them. So hopefully we will. I really like when one of the heroes teaches the other about sex or seduction. Yes, that's a fun trope. Have you read Cruel Idols by the same author as Feral King? No, I haven't. It's also MMF? Well, you don't got to tell me twice, Joanne. Cruel Idols. All right. Eloisa James, Lisa Kleypas. I like Linda Howard. She has a Mackenzie series. I don't think I've read a Linda Howard yet, but I do have some of hers. Crystal, hey, my girl. I already have my face on, so we're good. Ooh, I got a new choker, guys. I don't know if you noticed. I wore it in my video yesterday, but it says like love on it. Sorry to be all like, here's my neck. Oh my God. And then I bought this cheetah print shirt. I got these at Maurice's yesterday, and I was like, this is perfect for my videos. Anyway. But yeah, so anyone have... Oh, I missed a couple questions. Sorry, I'll go back. Do you like reading romantic suspense? Oh, like Linda Howard. Gotcha. I don't love it a lot because for me, I don't always like there to be another plot happening. So just to be a basic bitch, one of my favorite books ever is Beyond Eden by Catherine Coulter. And that is a romantic suspense that has some assaults in it. So know that, but I did really like that one. Thanks, Crystal. You're so good for my ego. I love you. All of you are good for my ego. Thank you. Tell me I'm pretty and love me. That's all I ask. OMG, read all the Lisa Kleypas historicals this summer. I may have OD'd. Yes. I was just talking and like, I've only read her like family series. So I've read from the Wallflowers all the way through the Ravenels. And then I've read Dreaming of You. But I definitely want to read some more of her. I want to get Crystal to read Lisa Kleypas with us for book club sometime, which I know you want to read them, Crystal, so maybe we'll do that. Joanne, this tattoo says it is well. I actually have 4 tattoos. I can show them to you because they're all in legal place. So this is It Is Well. It Is Well is from It Is Well With My Soul. This is my grandmother's favorite hymn. I mean, it's also mine. But after my grandmother died, I knew I wanted to get a hymn, and so I picked that one. Then I also have a cross on my wrist. I have Forgiven on my wrist. And then I have, it's hard to show. This one says Lumos, and it has John 1:5 with a wand. So lots of religious tattoos, but they're the things for me that will last always. But I am planning to get a bookish tattoo besides the Harry Potter one, but I don't know what to get still. Yes, Crystal, we have to pick a good one. That's why I haven't mentioned it yet, is because I'm like, I don't know which one to do, but she definitely has some good rakes for us to appreciate in the society. Lisa Kleypas, contemporary romance. I have read Blue-Eyed Devil. I have read that one. Justin and Juliet did it as a podcast episode, and then I had to read it. But I haven't read any of the others in the series yet, but I have them. Hi, Victoria. You're not late. I literally gave everyone a 10-minute warning because I was like, I want to go live, so I'm going. Cold-hearted rake. Yes. True. We could do cold-hearted rake. I don't think you've read any of the Ravenels, right? You've only done, again, The Magic and Mine Till Midnight, Crystal? Cold-hearted rake. Devin. I love Devin. Sorry if you've already answered this, but have you read the All Souls trilogy? Graceful Angels with a Z. I read the first two, and I got bored out of my mind in the second one. Sorry to say. I loved the first one. I loved Matthew. I love a vampire who's sexy like that. I love the demons and I loved it. And also, yes, I'm going to watch the second season of the show because I watched the first season and I liked it. So, but the second book just hurt to read. And so I haven't continued yet. Smooth Talking Stranger. Okay, good to know. I love watching your videos and the fact that you're from Fargo. You went to NDSU. Aw, that is amazing, Danielle. That's cool. You just read Mine Till Midnight. Sam, I won't ask, but I hope you liked it. Just been season 2. Yes, I mean, and I know they go back to contemporary times, but I just was like, her writing is just so long-winded in some stuff. Haven't read the Ravenels, so I'd love to do that. Okay, well, we'll see. I won't put Crystal on the spot while I'm on a live show and I'm the only one who can talk. But I mean, I know I want us to do Lisa at some point because we love her, and there's so many books and so many book clubs and so much time. Like, we'll figure it out. We have a while. Ruby, I just started Kerrigan Byrne's How to Love a Duke in 10 Days, and let's just say that kind of messed me up. Yes. Kerrigan Byrne will always mess you up. Yes, Disa, I saw this. Have you read Teresa Medeiros? I haven't. Medeiros. I haven't read her yet, but Lourdes from Chapters We Love actually gave me the first 2 of her vampire series, and I actually have 2 of her historicals as well. And I am really interested in trying her paranormal historical series. So, yeah, Lourdes gave me the first 2, and I want to read them really bad. So I definitely want to try her. I like this giving me Rex things. So, yes. So I have some Mafia people gave me. What else did we want? Did we want Ram? I was going to say Cam Rohan, and I called him Ram. So that works. Cam is one of my all-time faves. Yes. Yes, I was sharing this the other day. Having read only 10 of her books, so being honest, I've read more of Lisa's books than that because I've also read the Bow Street Runner series. So I've read like 15 of hers. Cam, Tom, and McKenna are my like 3. Like, it depends on the day, but they're my top 3 heroes. And yes, I've read Derek. He just doesn't make it in the top for me. I don't know what it is. I don't dislike him. There is no dislike because a lot of her heroes are fantastic, but those are my boys. You really need to read Elizabeth Hoyt. I will, Shay. I will. She's on my list to read in 2021. Have you nailed down your TBR for historical romance readathon? So that's a good point. I was going to share this. So we'll take a detour into that. So 2 things. Number 1, I'm not making an individual TBR for this because if you saw my TBR for January, 10 of the books were historical romance. But what I've decided to do is for that week to just like really focus in on historicals because there's one contemporary that I need to read because I'm doing a buddy read that is starting on Friday. But otherwise, I'm just going to try to finish the rest of the historicals that are on my January TBR. So those are, one second. Those are Dangerous by Minerva Spencer, because I read Notorious last month and I really liked it. And this is a prequel, so I'm going to read this one. The Highlander's English Bride. This is the third book in Clan Kendrick, and I really liked that. For the Earl's Pleasure by Anne Mallory. The Raven and the Rose by Virginia Henley. The Sound of Snow by Catherine Kingsley. And I have 2 buddy reads still to do. Hold on. I need to read An English Bride in Scotland. I'm buddy reading this with Avery. And our other channel buddy read is Unclaimed, which I have the audiobook for. So these are the books I'm going to try to read for the Historical Romance Readathon, as well as I'm sure I will read another Donna Fletcher, because I'm on a Donna Fletcher track right now. I am on the hunt. Okay. Have I watched Sanditon? No, and I probably won't unless they finally put out a season 2. I have heard things, and I will not be subjecting myself to such pain unless I am guaranteed another season. So there's that. White Monarch is by Jessica Hawkins. Oh, okay. Are you serious? That's her pen name? Oh, no. That's another one you're talking about. Sorry. I've definitely heard about Violent Delights from Mary. So Jessica Hawkins. Okay. All right. Are the books always that small? I just cannot read small books. It hurts my hands and my eyes. Well, I mean, yes, mass market is going to be the easiest way for you to find them. And so they are going to be that small. But I mean, I know there's hardcover of a lot of them. You'd probably have to go to the library, though. It's hard to get those. Have you read any Sabrina Jeffries? Are they any good? Also, once you read Mary DeBoard and the Ravenels, Hell become one of your... Nope, I've already read that one. I've read all the Ravenels, and Reese is good, but Tom is still my favorite Ravenel hero. I'm saying it. He is everything that I love in a hero. But I've read The Wallflowers, The Hathaways, the Ravenel, Wall Street Runner series, and Dreaming of You. And then Blue-Eyed Devil. Those are all the Lisa Kleypas I've read. And those are my 3 favorite heroes, I told you. I saw the cover of Bound to a Warrior. When you start reading it on Goodreads, I almost fell over. Okay, should we go rant about Bound to a Warrior? Because I want to. 1 second. This book, guys, this fucking book, okay? Okay. Crystal, sorry, you're going to hear this rant again. I've already given it to her and a bunch of people. This book lives up to its cover. That's all that I like. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. The way that he's looking at her, the way that she's like looking, it's so perfect. It's so beautiful. So the setup of this book, page 1. These 2 are locked together. They're both prisoners of the king. This is set in the year 1005 in the Scottish Highlands. And yeah, I know this fucking cover. This book also came out in 2010. I love this book. And so Mercy is the heroine. Duncan is the hero. They're both running from the king. And they are shackled together, right? There's a chain. And oh my God, Crystal. So what happens is they're supposed to be taken to the king. She's on the run from the king. He's on the run from the king. They don't know why, but they're being held at knife point at the edge of a cliff. And the guys who have them are like, you can either jump off this cliff or you can like come with us to the king. And so they don't even hesitate. They grab each other's hands and they jump off this cliff into the river below. They get into the river and Mercy can't swim, but she still trusted Duncan enough to save her. And he's like, you jumped off a cliff and you can't swim? And she's like, well, I knew I could trust you. I could just tell. And so That's page one. And like, yeah, I mean, this isn't a spoiling of it. I'm just reading the back of this, but they're both hiding secrets. But instead of this being like an enemies to lovers, right? Because you're trapped to this person, they're in a lot of really sensitive areas to get like not sensitive areas, sensitive situations. Like the first night, they're freezing, and so they need to dry out their clothes. They need to take off their clothes. And I love it because Duncan will be thinking, he's like, I don't want to scare her, but like, we need to huddle together for warmth. And before he can even say anything, she's like, we need to huddle together for warmth. And he's like, oh my God, I'm going to get such a bone. And she's like, it's okay. I know that your body's going to do that. Like, it's just so sweet. They just care so much for each other. So it's so good. It's so good. And I sent Crystal a couple like screenshots of like quotes in this book because our hero, like, it takes a while for us to learn their individual stories about what they're going for. But they have this innate trust for each other because they can just see the other person is a good person, and there's something so beautiful about it. And we can tell that she has been, through a lot, and he just immediately wants to take care of her, but he also sees how capable she is and how brave she was. And he's like, I can tell that you are like a society woman just by your bearing and your speech, but you're so brave. And I've never seen someone be so brave like this. And so he's just immediately obsessed with her. And she is enamored with him, but she's like, nothing's going to come of this, but I'm going to enjoy my time with him because once he finds out who I am, because she has a secret, of course, she's like, he might not want me anymore. So I'm going to enjoy this time. And it's just it's so good. And some of the things that he says to her is just like, she's like, nothing lasts forever. So let's just make the most of it. And there's one scene where he hugs her to him and he's like, love lasts forever, Mercy. And this is after they've known each other for like 2 days. It's just so good. So this beautiful, beautiful book, I gave it a 6-star for me, my new 6 stars. I will tell you, this isn't anything revolutionary. It's not a Kerrigan Byrne. It's not a Lisa Kleypas. It's not trying to teach you a lesson, but it was so beautiful. And just to have two people whose like hearts are open from the beginning, like legitimately the things that are keeping them apart. They are keeping some secrets because they're kind of life or death secrets that they do need to keep the secrets, if that makes sense. But in every other aspect, they're so open with each other because they know immediately that the only way that they'll survive is if they're completely work together, if they work together in everything. So rant over about Bound to a Warrior, but if you love Scottish books and if you love historical romance, it's so good. And I have the whole series for this. This series is called The Warrior King, and I'm going to keep reading this series because it's about 4 guys and one of them's the king. So there you go. Rant over. Please go get this book because not only is it gorgeous, like look, he's even got like chest hair and like they're just so sexy. They're just so sexy. And it just made my heart so happy. It's also on Scribd. I listened to this because the narrator for Donna Fletcher's books, he does really great Scottish accents. So there we go. It's funny because the drawn covers never do anything for me. Yeah. That's the same too. I'm so sick of cartoon covers. Yeah. I want you all to read it, but just know what I said. I know I'm really excited about it. I get excited about stuff, but just know that like the reasons I love it is because like the relationship's really beautiful. And the way that Donna Fletcher writes her series, at least the one series that I read, there is an ongoing story happening through the whole book. So you kind of got to read them in order. But luckily, this one's the first one in the series, so you can start with that one. But I also love the Sinclair brothers, which I talked about in my Scottish video, and I just love it so much. All right, what should I rant about next? I can talk for like another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to film my video. before I lose the ambition, because I'm losing the ambition. I don't use Hoopla. Nope. Oh my gosh. VP, where should I start? Well, I have a playlist for all historical romance recs, and in that playlist is historical romances for beginners, because there's too much to say in a video right now. But I have an entire video talking about where you might want to start. My question you should always ask yourself is, what kind of books do you like that are contemporary? Like, what kind of tropes do you like? Because whatever kind of tropes you like in contemporary, you can kind of pick it in historical and see if you like that. Do you like the White Queen, White Princess, the Spanish Princess? So, Susan, I actually love the TV show for the White Queen and the White Princess. I haven't watched the Spanish Princess. I actually had read the White Queen book when the show was coming out. I used to read a lot of Philippa Gregory, but her books are historical fiction. They're not really historical romance, and so they don't usually have like a happy ending because they're historical, and they make me sad. I don't really know because I mostly read fantasy. I think I like enemies to lovers. Okay, fair enough. I mean, ooh, yeah. I would check out the playlist because I really go into detail there, as well as I have a playlist that is a bunch of other romance booktubers. They've also made where to start for historical, because everybody comes to historical from like a different place. And so if you can find another booktuber who they came into it the same way as you did, that's going to be a good place to start, because I've been reading it since I was in 8th grade. So I just have always read it. So it's hard for me to relate to like for a beginner. Do you know what I mean? But I try my best in those videos. Okay, I just bought Bound to a Warrior on my Kindle. Yes. Book Addict. It's so good. It's such a comforting, fun read. It's a little bit like, Duncan is so swoony. Like, he's going on my next book boyfriend list that I make. Shay, what kind of recommendation videos do you want to see more of in the community? Ooh, Shay, that's tough. I think I want to see more books because obviously I want to find recs from my friends too. And so I'd like to see people trying books that haven't been recommended and then can make recommendations. Like, that's really what I was doing with like Donna Fletcher and with Mary Wine, and I was specifically doing it for Scottish books because all of my favorite Scottish books are everyone else's favorite Scottish books. Like, I can't recommend people Kerrigan Byrne forever. I mean, I want to. So, I mean, what I would like to see is I would like to see other people trying authors that aren't of the mainstream, because part of the reason I haven't tried any Sabrina Jeffries or Stephanie Lauren is like, I hear them mentioned on the fringes, but I haven't seen anyone do like a reading vlog for those. And I'm not saying that I can't be the one to do it. Like, I want to do it. That's why I have them on my list. But I want to know which ones that other people like. So that's what I'd like to see in the community, is more recommendation videos that are for new authors. And believe me, I get it, because I know that when I make a recommendation video for those, that a lot of my friends are going to read those because they want to read what I like. I get it. That's what I want. That's what I want too. But I want other people to do it too. So that's kind of a selfish thing, but I also want us to lift up smaller authors like Donna Fletcher. This book only has 100 reviews. It has more ratings than that, but only has 100 reviews, and it came out 11 years ago. And you've seen how beautiful these covers are. Like, I've been posting them. But I couldn't find any of my friends. Like, a couple of viewers of mine have read it. So yeah, that's just a thing of like, I'm not shaming anyone. I want people to read what they want to read. I just know that I get really excited when I see a video where people are reading books that I haven't read yet and recommending them to me. So, rant for that. Loved your Scottish romance video. Yay! It was so much fun. I'm still in the Scottish kick, if you can't tell. I don't really like the covers of Sarah McLean books. Are you a fan of her books? I am a fan of her books. I've read 7 of them so far. I've read the Bare Knuckle I've read the Bare Knuckle Bastards. I did a reading vlog for that recently. And I read the Rules of Scoundrels. I will be reading the, Are You Still Here, Crystal? What's the name of this trilogy? In February, we're reading a trilogy for our book club. But I haven't read her first trilogy yet. So I haven't read 9 Rules, but I plan to. My first historical was Sea of Ruin. Sam, that is amazing. Way to jump in with both of you. It is a good crossover though, right? It's a dark romance and it's historical. It's good for that place to start, in my opinion. Want to see more indie and self-published authors, new authors, hidden gems? Yes. That is, here's a little insider. I'm working on doing a historical indie recommendations. That is something I plan to film very soon, because that's one of the prompts for the historical romance readathon is to read an indie published. And I've only read a couple, and a few of the ones I've read, they are a contemporary, like not a contemporary, they are a well-known author who like wrote some indie. So are you going to do more romance trope recommendations? Yes, Rossio. I try to put those up at least once a week. There should be a recommendation video. There's a lot of vlogs and stuff recently because during December I did a lot of reading vlogs, but there should be a romance trope recommendation going up weekly. Plus I have a playlist of 80 recommendation videos. So always go to the backlist. Hey, Tara. Hey, Heather. So happy to see you. Scandal and Scoundrel. Thank you, Ashley. Yes. We are reading that trilogy in February, and the very last day of February, Sarah McLean will be on Crystal's channel with me and her, and we're going to talk about them. So, yes. Yes, Sam. It's a good crossover because it has the historical vibes as well as that Ashley, he's a naughty boy. He's a naughty boy. But yeah. So, takeaways from this. This book is amazing. I love really good families in series too. So, yes, Graceful Angel. I think I mentioned that just a little bit ago. I haven't read the trilogy. Nope. I watched the shows and I've read The White Queen, but I didn't continue because it's not enough romance and it's too depressing. So, there's that from me. Anytime you're following an actual real historical figure, I find that it can get pretty depressing pretty quickly. Oh, Avery. Did you like it? You should tell me if you liked it. I tried to take my time with the audiobook because I was like, once this is over, it's over. So we have someone else who read Bound to a Warrior. So it's just so pretty. And I love that this isn't even a step back. Like, this is the front cover. Oh, I'm so glad you loved it. Oh, good. Shout it from the rooftops because it's freaking gorgeous. Like, that's like the best part and the down part of Instagram is I think a lot of us do. Like, we get on there and we buy these books and then we put them in a post and we just leave them. So, I mean, I love that, like, in my TBR prompts this year, a couple of these books for my romance readathon, they were both read it because of the step back. So like this was one of my step back Saturdays. I'm going to try to read it. Because I just buy them because they're beautiful and then they just sit on my shelf. And so when Jess hauled this book, I was like, I have to have it, but I don't know if I'll like Donna Fletcher. And then I bought all of Donna Fletcher's. Well, not all of them. She actually has a very extensive backlist, by the way. But I bought most of her Scottish books, and I like them. They're just really cozy, and they make me happy. So, yeah. Heather! Girl, I hope you like it. Bye, Shay. Yeah, any last things? I'll give this a couple minutes. I know that I just made a post about it too, but what recommendation videos do you want to see? The one I'm filming after this is the The Villains Who Get a Happily Ever After. I'm filming that one. I'm planning to do an indie historical romance Rex. I'm working on another Mafia one. I have to read enough for it. That's a thing too. Like, I say this, besides a few tropes where I actively like don't like them, I'm usually saving up enough books to do a trope recommendation video. So sometimes if you don't see one for a long time, it's because I haven't read enough of it. Yeah, Abby. I know. This was such a random time to do it too, but I, did the makeup, ready to film. Figured we could chat for a little bit. Oofda. I'm like tired too. But yeah, so my reading plans for, have you read something like Sherbrooke Bride? Ooh. I'd have to think about that. That's a good question. Have you read something like the Sherbrooke Bride? I got to think about that. A Viking romance one. Ooh. I have not read enough of those, Avery, but let me put that on a to-do. I know Jess said she's going to do a vlog for that. I read about 300 books during 2020, and you've been my chief enabler. Never read romance before, just historical fiction or contemporary. Wow. That's crazy. Pirate romances. I haven't read a ton of those, but I've bought a lot of those, Disa. So pirate romances, I should do a reading blog for that too. Because I keep buying them because they have the prettiest step backs. And I never read them. Well, Joanne, I'm so glad that you have read romance this year. I just think it's such a great source of joy. When you start a book and know that you could have a happy ending, like it's going to have a happy ending. I know some people like want to be surprised, but for me, there's such a comfort that no matter what kind of a ride we're going to go on, that I know we're going to end up happy. That's just, I need that in this time of uncertainty. I need to know that I will have that. If you like this, you'll also like this. Okay. Yes. Right. Right, Joanne. And so that's the thing. She said like there was a trilogy that like didn't have an HEA. Yeah. Yeah. I can't with that. Like it makes me so angry. And so I'm like, why am I taking this on to just be angry about it? It's frustrating. So Empire High by Ivy Smoke. I've read some stuff by Ivy Smoke. The thing that like Amazon recommended nonstop. All right. I'm going to call it here. Of course, in the Discord, you can send me recommendations you have or things you want to see. I have a serious fear of Saturnsy, yes. But I mean, thank you guys for joining this impromptu thing. It makes me so happy that you'd pop on and chat with me. And I just, as always, I love your support. It just means so much to me. And I'll see you next time we do a video or another one of these. So have a great Sunday, everybody. Oh my gosh, Heather, you and your BDSM. Bye, everybody.